So on the cooking a lot on the water, fishing.
Yep.
And then tell me about that. What was it? The desert race? What was that race
Well, it was
that you?
it was a Desert Dash, they called it.
Desert Dash. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a fundraiser that Rotary did in Parker, the town of Parker. And what it was is it was a foot race, walk, bicycle race, whatever, uh, from the highway up the dirt road to the Desert Bar. And the Desert Bar is up, and it's not a good road. It's not one that I'd recommend taking a new car on, but a new car can make it, but it's not one I'd recommend. But it's
Yeah.
so it's about, anyhow, the foot run walk started, it was at about 3.2, so it was a 3.2 miles is all. So that's a 3.2 miles, I think. What was that? 5 kilometers. Yeah, 5 kilometers race. So
A lot of you guys from
yeah,
Sunshine would go.
we would go sign up for that, and I did that every year for probably 10, 11 years and so forth.
Get a new T-shirt every year.
Yeah, get a new T-shirt.
Did Linda go?
No, she generally ended up taking the truck and dropping us off, and then she would drive on into the Desert Bar because you had to get yourself back out. And so she would drive in there and get a picnic table or wherever it was, and then when we were all recovered and on our way back out, just pile into the truck, and people in the front and the back and everything down to where their cars were.
Doc, tell us about that bar. It's a pretty unique bar.
Yeah. Well, the Desert Bar is, somebody had taken, it's an old mine that they had taken and got a hold of, and they built a bar up there. They've got a front of an old church, which is just a metal frame. They use it for weddings and so forth. But they have a couple stages so that they can have music and so forth, but they don't have any power and or water to it. So everything has to be brought in, and they've over the years have added solar panels to all of the shade, so that they have solar panels and batteries that give them the power they need. And just in the last 3 to 4 years, they went ahead and developed it so that they had food providers or people that could come in and set up food courts and so on. But
as I recall, they did have different food court windows, but they also had a main bar.
Right.
And I remember asking the bartender about it, and she said that the company or the people who ran the bar would pick them up on a bus down in Parker and bring them up there back and forth every day, which would be quite a trek, every day. There was no place to just stay up there overnight.
No place to stay. And they were only open during the winter months and only open during the weekends and holidays.
Yeah.
So.
But they had a hell of a business during that time.
There was never, there was always standing room only, just about. Most of the time you'd find a place to sit and so forth, but it was always packed. There were a lot of people there, and but there was nothing else around there. It was 3.5, 4 miles from the highway, and it was up a nasty road. But it was a experience going ahead and doing the Desert Dash year after year.
Did you run or walk?
Oh, you just walked. We just walked.
And it wasn't to win anything.
No.
It was just to say you did it.
They had drawings and so forth, And I think one time before I left, and I always wasn't one to stay and hang around and make a big long day of it and so forth. So I always, after about the first 45 minutes to an hour after the race was over and they started their drawings and so on, I always made it a point to find some kid that had gone and done this and so forth. Then I would give him my tickets and tell him.
In case anything was won.
Yeah, I said, there you go. This is for you to go ahead and be the winner. But I think I won some 2 tacos one time from Taco Bell in Parker. But anyhow,
Any other stories at Sunshine that stick out in your mind?
Well, there's a number of, mishaps and so forth. There was the gal that she wanted so much to be part of the kayaking crew that she went ahead and got a kayak, but she was deathly afraid of the water. And she didn't swim well at all. And right next to our site, there was a little island just downstream from us that was covered with bamboo. And this is the weed type bamboo that's real. Anyhow, she went one time out there and she was dicking around and wasn't watching what she was doing and wasn't paddling to get out away so that she didn't go. And she went right into this bamboo. And the water, she hollered and screamed. And so
A bunch of you were
yeah,
kayaking or canoeing
there
at
was
the
about
same time,
about a
right?
dozen of us kayaking, so 2 of us went on over. And Linda was in the canoe with me, so I went ahead and put it on the beach just where this bamboo was. And I walked out and got in and swam over to the bamboo. And she was hanging on to her kayak had totally filled. The water was going over the top of everything and up to her armpits, and she's hanging on to this bamboo. Now, if we could get her to let go, the water would flush her out just in 5 seconds, But we couldn't get her to let go. So I stayed there and was holding by this, over where the bamboo was shallow enough I could stand. So I was standing there holding, making sure she was okay. And Murray paddled up from behind her and got his canoe up behind her, and he got her to turn loose of the bamboo to hang on to his kayak. And as soon as she turned loose of the bamboo to grab his kayak, naturally the water flushed her right on out. And I pulled the other kayak out of the river and so forth. Anyhow, she didn't want to do any more kayaking that day.
Well, when it flushed her out, she was holding on to
On Murray's kayak.
So yeah. She was okay.
Oh yeah, she was okay. And there was, right there where the channel went around there, it was maybe 4 feet deep or so. And it was only maybe 3 feet deep, 2 feet deep around where the bamboo was.
So she could stand up.
Well, probably couldn't, because there was enough current right there.
Oh.
It was pushing her pretty bad. I was, like I say, in the midst of the bamboo and everything, so I was able to stand up there. But anyhow, she wasn't having any more of it that day. That was enough for her. But I had several people, rah, 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 she shouldn't be out there if she doesn't know how to swim, and if she doesn't feel comfortable. Oh, forget it. We had it all under control. She had her life vest on, and she wasn't going anyhow. She was scared more than anything.
Yeah.
But anyhow.
What about Joni and Tom? You guys were friends there for a long time.
Yeah.
And Joni just loves you.
Yeah. Well, Joni and Tom were from Southern California as well, and Tom went to the same high school. In fact, he was a half a year behind Kurt and
Oh, at Eagle Rock.
at Eagle Rock, yeah,
What's their last name?
Baylor.
Yeah, that's right.
And so, anyhow, we had some common names and some common connections. I didn't know him in high school and so forth, but even so, and so she was a take charge gal and is a take charge gal, and they came down there. They had a motorhome when they first were there for the first 2 years, and then they bought a mobile home up on the second level, and 2 years later they bought a second one, sold the first one and bought a second one because it was over closer to the boat docks.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Joni loved to kayak.
oh yeah, Joni loved to kayak. Tom could never have any of it. Tom was really at that point, he never fished. He never was all that sociable. He'd sit around and have a drink for a while there until he got to the point where he didn't drink at all, health reasons and all. But he was.
So he wasn't that healthy when you first met him.
No, he was barely getting along then,
Yeah.
and then deterioration and so on.
But Joni was a go-getter. She's your age, right?
Actually, she's
thereabouts.
a year older, I think, than me. Yeah, she's old. She was a year older than me, but she's still hanging in there, I guess.
And they do their summers up in Washington State.
Right, and we've gone ahead and visited them up
Yeah.
there. Oh, you went with us one over
Yep.
there too. You've been to their place.
Yep. Yep.
But
They're neat people.
yeah, there's a lot of nice things and a lot of neat people you meet, and I think it's the RV mentality, the people that want to get out and travel and want to go do something. They're not stuck someplace, and they're
Right.
very sociable.
I think we'll quit there. I think we can talk about why we don't go there anymore when we talk about our story, yours and my story together.
Yeah.
We can kind of wrap that up then. So let's call it quits for today.
Okay.